Hi, my name is Olivia Gianassi and today I'm going to be talking about narcolepsy. So, what actually is narcolepsy? It's also known as an excessive uncontrollable daytime sleepiness and it's a chronic brain disorder. So, you lose control to regulate sleep-wake cycles and you tend to lose the ability to know if you're asleep or awake as characteristics of being asleep occur when you are awake. So you basically fall asleep at any point in the day and this can happen for a few seconds or a few minutes. It usually starts around adolescence and it is lifelong. Um, it's not really rare that it starts when you're older, but it does usually start around adolescence. So narcolepsy affects around 1 in 3,000 Americans, and yeah. So the cause. Narcolepsy is caused by an autoimmune process or a direct injury. These two can basically happen and affect the neurons living the orexin. So orexin controls arousal, appetite and wakefulness. It's also known as hyperactin as well, and it is a neuropeptide. So so the most frequent symptom of narcolepsy is named cataplexy, and this is basically the lack of orexin, which has been destroyed by an autoimmune process or direct injury, and this is where the sleep-related symptoms start to reveal themselves and start to take place. Okay, so there are 4 main symptoms of narcolepsy, and so the first one I'm going to be speaking about is daytime sleepiness. So this is also being chronically sleepy, and it's basically sudden sleep attacks with pretty much no warning, and it can happen in literally any situation. You could be driving, you could be in an exam, you could just be sitting on the sofa watching TV, it could be anywhere. And it's not that they don't sleep as much as people without narcolepsy. They sleep pretty much the same amount of time. It's not how bad their sleep was, so they were still tired. It really is not like they don't even know why it happens really yet. There's a lot of research being done, but they still don't really know. But yeah, back to this. So for normal people, they kind of go through a sleep cycle that lasts about an hour before they reach the REM stage, which is the stage of sleep. But people with narcolepsy fall asleep really quickly and they tend to go right into the REM sleep. And this ends up in them having really, really vivid dreams, even when they're only asleep for a tiny period of time. The second one is cataplexy, and as I said, this one is the most common. So basically strong emotions such as anger, excitement, anything like that, results in a short-term muscle weakness, and this can affect many parts of the body, but it does tend to happen in the face, neck or knees. You are normally conscious and awake during this, but obviously this can be really, really scary, and people who get cataplexy a lot start to get anxiety and really fear the episodes. And obviously anxiety and fear are quite strong emotions, and that can also trigger it, which is really bad. So the severe episodes could end up in total body weakness and even paralysis. Okay, so the third one is hypnagogic hallucinations. These are very scary and very vivid normally. So while the person is falling asleep, they will experience visual, tactile, auditory hallucinations, and psychologists basically think this is caused by a concoction of wakefulness and REM. So when people do wake up, they can have the same things, which I think is a lot scarier than the hypnagogic ones. But when you wake up and have these hallucinations, They are called hypnopompic hallucinations, and these are a lot less common. So the next one is sleep paralysis, and this one I think is by far the worst. So it's basically the complete inability to move, and so basically when we're asleep, our body muscles become paralyzed in case we're having like a really active dream and we're running or just something like that where we move. Our muscles are paralyzed so that we don't harm ourselves, pretty much. But and this obviously occurs during the REM sleep. But people who are narcoleptic can actually like become conscious while they're still paralyzed. So they can't speak, they cannot move, and this does only happen for a few moments, but this can be really, really frightening. So difficulties with narcolepsy. Okay, so a lot of people become very some people can have a lot of anxiety and shame due to this, as obviously it can be quite embarrassing. And they actually start to isolate themselves as they are so scared if any episodes are going to happen, they are so sudden, you don't know when they're going to happen. A lot of people are so scared of showing like big emotions as they think it's going to like trigger the cataplexy. But the Americans with Disabilities Act actually have a few things to help people with narcolepsy, and it does require reasonable places for them to take necessary naps so they can show their full potential at work. Like imagine you have a huge meeting or anything like that, and you're scared that you're going to just fall asleep. So that's really good that they have that. And also at schools, school administrators are normally in charge of this, and they can actually adjust the child's school schedules during the day so they can nap. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, thank you for watching.